games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Biddly biddly, biddly biddly, biddly biddly, biddly biddly, but yes, yo, here we go. Ain't nobody down round here. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. He's in, he's on, he's over, he's here. I had to move back to get his greatness in. I've got soul, but I'm not a soldier. I've got a badge, but we've only got one badger. So here we go. Quick shit vid. Plymouth tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Nice home game to get stuck into. Plymouth, obviously, Rooney is at the helm. Wayne Rooney. I don't actually mind Rooney. I used to absolutely detest him at Man U, but, you know, we've moved on since then. I don't mind him. He seems like, you know, I've seen him walking on a few rallies and what have you. He's kicking off at refs still and that. So, you know, I don't know. He's clearly a bit of a character, isn't he? They're 31st. They're 21st in league, so they're a point above drop. 12 points from a possible 36. So, you know, pretty whack. But they have had some half-decent results. All season, really. They obviously had a terrible start. Their away form's horrendous, but they beat Sunderland 3-2 at home, and they beat Luton. I know Luton have struggled at times. Well, struggling. They beat Luton 3-1, but they were both at home. They got battered away from home 5-0 to Cardiff, which is an awful result. Got beat 2-1. Sorry, they beat Blackburn at home 2-1 and stuff. So they have been getting results at home, but not necessarily away from home. So, you know, obviously at home at ELLAND Road, they're going to hopefully struggle. They've conceded 22 goals this season. They've only scored 13. So that's -9. They've got that -9 goal difference. They've got that Michael Obafemi guy up top. He's on loan from Burnley. He's not too much of a goal threat, though, I don't think, to be fair. I thought he was going to be a bit of a big beast when I saw Obafemi, because I always get him mixed up with his... he's got a brother, does this Obafemi, but I always get him mixed up with that big, massive, brute guy, but it's not him. But he's only got 1 goal in 9 this season as Obafemi, and that Whittaker's probably their best player. He's a winger. He's got 3 goals in 12 games for him this season, so, you know, and he looks like he's scored a couple of decent goals. Giabi's back, obviously, but because he's on loan from us to Plymouth, but he can't play. He's ineligible. He can't play, is what I'm trying to say. Adam Forshaw's back as well. Adam Forshaw's been getting a little bit of criticism at Plymouth all season. But, you know, he did start last week. He got dragged off last week as well for Plymouth. But I would imagine he starts. I would have thought he'd get a pretty decent reception, won't he, tomorrow? Certainly up. So, Fakka's done his press conference yesterday. And Dan James is a doubt. He missed training on Wednesday and then resumed light training on Thursday. So they said that they'd make a decision on him today. So what comes of that, we will have to see. That'd be a huge miss. And it's the same for Bamford, unfortunately. So if I were Bamford, I'd have had to say to Fakka, I'd have had to say, just do us a favour and just don't mention my injury. But I understand Fakka's doing it. You know, he talks about injuries, about everybody. He mentioned Geldart. Geldart's injured, you know, and Geldart sometimes doesn't even make the bench. So it's like, you know, he just talks about general injuries. Obviously got Firpo back. I think Byron will probably go into right back. Firpo will come back. Firpo's got 3 assists this season, which is really quite high up. He's, interestingly enough, so does Joseph. So, you know, we're gonna quickly discuss Peru, Joseph or Bamford. Obviously not Bamford now on Saturday, you wouldn't imagine. Nonto, people are saying that he's not had particularly the best season. He's currently the 3rd highest assister in the league. He's got 4 assists, so, you know, he's obviously providing to some extent. Is Bamford done then? Is that, you know, this has been a long-term conversation that we've had. People saying that he's stealing a career and stuff. I'm not bothered about what wages he's on, as long as the club's getting run properly, correctly. They're on about a young lad that's gone out on loan to York City being his potential replacement. Well, I thought his replacement was meant to be Joseph. We've tried to replace him with Peru. Rodrigo never ended up playing up top on his own, apart from towards back end of it, first season when we stayed up. Got a few goals, whatever. We've struggled to replace Bamford. If he wasn't so injury prone, he would have something to offer us. It's so frustrating that he's injured again. It's obviously happened in training, whether he's picked up a little bit of a niggle last week or whatever. It's just madness, you know. James will be a huge loss, though. Cause, I mean, we're without Rams for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and James is obviously coming back from injury, and then has another setback. It's the same injury that he had before, so it is a setback, which is bad. Solomon's obviously still getting up to speed, up to pace, so Solomon's coming to a lot of flack as well. We need to go easy on this in general as well. We're still winning games, we're still third in the league, we're looking good. You know, by the international break, I reckon we can be, you know, we can pull away at top if we get sort of 6-9 points. 6 or 9, not 69. Dirty bastards, yeah. But yeah, I'd stick with Peru. People, the topic is going back and forth about whether Joseph should be up top, he wears the defence down, all this type of stuff. I think Peru gets a chance. Don't matter whether he's playing well, whatever. First 60 minutes, game can be a little bit cagey. He gets a chance, he scores a goal. That's what he's there to do. If he doesn't continue to do that, then, you know, we do have to move on. We get Joseph up top. But I think then after 60 minutes, bringing Joseph on that is the recipe. It's got to be comfortable tomorrow. It has to be comfortable. We need a big win, really, you know, especially after last week at Bristol, which was extremely drab. I think Farke is just happy sometimes with a point. I think he realises how long it is over a season. I think if he needs to put his foot on the gas, he will do so. But at this current moment, he doesn't seem to want to do it. There's been a few results now. People saying that Bristol was the worst result or the worst performance of the season. I disagree. The West Brom game to me was the worst performance of the season. Archie Gray. Tottenham are apparently discussing whether or not some loan offers will come in for Archie Gray. Now, will they want to loan Archie Gray to a Championship side? I don't know. But if they do, is there a better team to loan him back to? We would accept him. Would he come straight into the side? Would Tottenham want him playing right back? Would he play over Bogle on the basis that we're going to have Bogle next year in the Premier League? We need to look after the players that we currently have. There's no asset to Archie Gray anymore. We've sold him on. Would you want him back? Now, obviously, currently in the centre midfield, we only have Tanaka and Rothwell, and obviously got the new Gadger, the Gillasoppy guy that I can't say his name. What's your thoughts on that? Will they loan him out? I personally don't think they will loan him out in January. I think it's just a bit of hype talk, a bit of hype train, a bit of clickbait for me to put on the old title for you all to go batshit crazy over. Stop it with the clickbait titles, mate. You're better than that. You're better than that clickbait shit. People, I have to mention this. I mentioned it in my live yesterday. I go live every single Thursday at 8 PM. Join me. Thank you to everybody that tuned in last night. I had a good bash. I had a couple of Archie Geller's, Stellas. I appreciated it. People are kicking off about the prices of the Adidas clobber. Now, the Adidas training kits are about 50 quid. The jumpers are about 50 quid. The shirts are about 65 quid. That's just how it is, right? But the originals, so the Adidas original line, like all the, you know, the greys, they're not the training kits. It's Adidas Originals. It's Adidas Classic. It's Adidas whatever. It's their brand. That's more their brand with a Leeds badge on. And they're complaining that it's 130 quid, 150 quid, and that the club are ripping them off. The club are not ripping you off, boys. When was the last time you went shopping? When was the last time you went shopping, bruh? It's about 100 quid now for an Adidas coat, zip-up top. It just is. So the Adidas original ones are about 150 quid. They're not ripping you off, mate. They're not ripping you off. You go to be fair, you go to the shop, stall at Elland Road. Stuff in that expensive. Decent quality. That scarf, I think, were about 12 quid. Granted, Wendy bought me it, but, you know, that is what it is. Cheers, Bob. But, yeah, it was Nikki, actually, that bought me it, I think. But regardless, it was a gift, and now it sits at the back on the back wall. But still, my point remains. Stick with it, boy.
Boom.
JackCity, bitch. JackCity, bitch. Hey! I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask no.